And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm Black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Sounds like DEI to me. I'm sorry, she the one said it. When I first became a defender, I had no experience. I walked into my boss's office and I said, you should hire me because I'm Black. Her boss looked at her like she was crazy, and then he hired her because she's Black.
Say because you've been gracious is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm Black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. Say because you've been gracious is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm Black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. Say because you've been gracious is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm Black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. Say because you've been gracious.
Sounds like DEI to me. Sounds like DEI to me. I'm sorry, she the one said it. When I first became a defender, I had no experience. I walked into my boss's office and I said, you should hire me because I'm Black. Her boss looked at her like she was crazy, and then he hired her because she's Black. Well, I don't have any Black people on my team. Let me go ahead and, you know what? You're right. Let's diversify a little bit. You are right. Nobody ever said that to me in an interview. You are right. How many times, show of hands, guys, how many of you will hire somebody after they say this to you? If you're somebody's supervisor, you're looking at all these applications, you're interviewing people, and somebody coming to your office and they look you in your face and they say, you should hire me because I'm Black. Are you going to stand up, put your hand down and say, welcome to the team? Are you going to say, if you don't get your dumb ass out of my office? Stop taking so much offense to this whole DEI hire thing. That's simply when you hire somebody because of the color of their skin. That's it. It don't mean that they didn't go to school for 12 years and they didn't pass the bar and they didn't do this and they didn't do that and they didn't swim with the fishes. They didn't swim against the sharks again. Like it don't, none of that matters. When we're talking about DEI, is specific to diversity, equity, and inclusion. If she's so qualified before getting the job, my resume should be enough. My presentation should be enough. How I represent myself and whatever comes behind, that should be enough. That should be enough. She is bragging about it. She's popping her collar about it. She's like, this is why, like, I went up in his office and I said, y'all gonna hire me. And why are you gonna hire me? Because I'm Black. That's why. She said that. So for all of the Democrats, independents, what you call them, progressives inside of the audience, inside of the chat, that are butthurt by constantly saying that anybody Black in politics is a DEI hire. Let me tell you something. Calm down. Calm down. Right? We're going to think a little critically here, just a little bit. Remove your emotions just for a moment and understand that this is what Jasmine Crockett wants to be. She wants to be in a sea of others so that she can stand out. She wants to be the Black girl in the room so that she can stand out. Black people who support Trump, no matter our qualifications, no matter how how intelligent we are, no matter the love that we have for God and family and country, it don't matter. You all will all still say that we are tokens. You will say that we are coons. You will say that we are house Negroes and many other things. You will say that the women are pick-me's. So, and that's not something that we're out there pushing. The difference between token and coon and house slave and house Negro and pick-me's, those words are not anything that we're out there protesting for. We don't want to be called that. We don't want to be considered that. Whereas Jasmine Crockett and everybody else on that side, they want to be considered as DEI hires. Right? We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace. Hunter Biden went on a breakfast club when he was running for president. Charlemagne the God told him, the Black community will not back you unless you put a Black woman on the ticket. That's what he attempted to do by picking and selecting Kamala Harris. DEI. He wanted to check off a box so that he get the job. He wanted to pander to a certain group so that he get the job, so he get their vote. And he did just that. So when they get the job, after being selected for their race and for their sex, that's literally the definition of DEI. They were selected for their diversity, for their, it's my intent to establish a little bit of equity and inclusion in the office. So I'm picking you to check off that box. That's just critical thinking. Nobody's saying that Jasmine Crockett didn't go to school. We all know that she's intelligent. She has no choice but to be intelligent. She chooses to be ignorant. She went to an elementary school that was $34,000 a year. Her dad is a judge. Her family are well-to-do. We get it. She's going to have some education. And who gives a damn? We're talking about DEI. With all of that education, she still walked into her future boss's office and said, the reason you should hire me is because I'm Black. And she got the job. Sheldon Daniels said, this lady never accomplished anything within the offices that she was voted into. None of the positions that she was voted into, she didn't accomplish a thing. Why is she flaking in these positions? But she went to school and passed 3 bars and was the highest in her class and all these other accolades where she was doing by her own merit. But as soon as she becomes a congresswoman, she can't get anything done. I'm gonna tell you why. Because life don't work that way. Life is not going to bend or appease you or lean toward your beliefs simply because you are a Black woman. Don't nobody give a damn. You're just the loudest in the room. You just can get away with saying the N-word. Out of everybody else in this room, you're the only one that can get away with saying the N-word without coming off as racist. You can fuss at white people and demean them and not be considered racist. You can get all loud and boisterous. You can act all hood and ghetto, knowing good and well you ain't slept one night in the hood at all. And you got your job because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. She just admitted that. So all of you Jasmine Crockett meat riders out there that just want to right the ship and you want to, shut me up and shut other people up that are talking about Jasmine Crockett, she's putting it on herself. I'm really not pooping on her at all. I'm just pointing out the fact that she's manipulating you and many others who vote the same way she would like for you to vote. She know that she's winning. She know that black people in this country are winning, but she would never tell you that because it does not benefit her. It will behoove her to continue to say that the sky is falling, that we are oppressed, that we are victims, that we can't get ahead, that the only way we can compete with the white man is if they level the playing field. They have 400 years ahead of us. You need to establish some DEI rules and qualifications so that we can get in the door and do our thing, because we already know that the white man is going to do his thing. That's what she's about. My thing is this. I believe she's far too intelligent to try to play the game that way. I think that's stupid. I think it's dangerous. I believe that any black kid that's watching her, it does not benefit them. It don't. She looks like a damn fool. And she don't even notice. But you're a super fan of hers, so you're going to give her a pass each time she does it. You have blinders on, you have your earmuffs on, you only hear the positivity of the progressive liberal, and you don't see the detriment of our country from everything that comes from them, everything that they're fighting for. I'm not disrespecting her, and I'm not meat riding her either. I don't care about all of her degrees. All of her degrees should, in my mind, provide a much better representation than what she provides. That's just me. That's just me.